You wake up in a $50,000 a night villa in the Hollywood Hills. The morning sun hits the matte black Lamborghini parked outside your floor-to-ceiling windows. Last night, you spent $180,000. Bottles of Dom Perignon were popping like fireworks. Models in designer dresses danced on tables, while the DJ played your name like you were already famous. You walk out onto the balcony wearing a watch that costs more than most houses. Below you, 3 more supercars sit in the driveway: a Ferrari, a Rolls-Royce, and a custom G-Wagon. Your phone is blowing up. 30 million followers. Every teenager in the world wants to be you. You smile for the camera. But deep inside, one terrifying thought never leaves your mind. How the hell am I going to keep this going? Cut to black. The truth behind the curtain. You are 19 years old, and right now, your actual bank balance is $14.12. The yacht you partied on last week, rented. The cars, leased under a fake company. The mansion you're standing in, paid for with a credit card that's already maxed out. You didn't come from money. You didn't have rich parents. You had one dangerous idea. What if I used the bank's own rules against them? You created Gilsarian Holdings, a Delaware LLC with a fake website claiming you managed luxury real estate for billionaires. You built fake revenue projections. You opened corporate credit cards, and the banks gave you money. A lot of money. At first it felt like power. Now it feels like walking on a tightrope with no safety net. Building the illusion. You didn't spend the money on stocks or real estate. You spent it on visual proof. You rented the biggest villa in the hills for 1 week. You flew in 20 models. You hired a professional photographer and shot 3,000 photos in 48 hours. Every picture you posted made you look richer than the last. And the world believed it. Resorts started flying you out for free. Jewelry brands started sending you watches worth hundreds of thousands. Private jet companies begged you to post them. You were living a $100 million lifestyle, while your real net worth was negative. Inside your head, the calculations never stopped. This card has 12 days left before interest hits. I can move the payment to the new card. That buys me 25 more days. As long as the content keeps working, the money keeps coming. You were playing chess against the entire financial system. Enter the Antagonist. Special Agent Victor Lang. What you didn't know was that someone had started watching. Special Agent Victor Lang of the FBI's Financial Crimes Unit had seen your profile. Something didn't add up. A 19-year-old with no job, no inheritance, and suddenly millions in corporate credit. He opened a file on you. First near miss. Lang almost caught you in month 4. He traced unusual corporate filings back to your LLC. He was 48 hours away from getting a warrant to freeze your accounts. But you were smarter. You saw the signs. Strange login attempts on your business portal. You immediately moved every dollar to 3 new shell companies you had prepared in advance. By the time Lang got the warrant, the accounts were empty and the paper trail was cold. You smiled when you saw the news that the investigation had gone cold. They're getting close, you thought. I need to move faster. The empire grows, and so does the risk. I seen the irisi. Your follower count exploded past 5 million. The lifestyle became even more extreme. Private jets, super yachts, front row fashion week. You were everywhere. But every night you sat alone in luxury hotels, staring at spreadsheets on your laptop, moving money between 7 different corporate cards like a financial juggler. Your internal voice was constant. Don't max this one out yet. Use the cash advance from card 4 to pay the minimum on card 2. Buy another 18 days of runway. You were surviving on pure calculation and nerve. Second near miss. Agent Lang got close again. He tracked you to a luxury event in Dubai. He had local authorities ready to detain you for questioning the moment you landed back in the US. But you never boarded that flight. Instead, you posted a story saying you were extending your stay for a private deal. You rerouted through 3 different countries using private charters paid for by brands. By the time Lang realized what happened, you were already back in America, posting from a new mansion like nothing happened. He was getting frustrated. You were getting cocky. The system starts cracking. The debt had now reached $15 million. You were using cash advances to pay minimums. You were kiting money between accounts. The stress was becoming unbearable. Some nights, you couldn't sleep. You would sit in the dark, heart racing, doing mental math. If they freeze the main accounts tomorrow, I have maybe 72 hours before everything collapses. You knew the end was coming. You just didn't know when. Third near miss. The final trap. It happened on a Tuesday. Agent Lang finally got a judge to sign off on freezing all known accounts linked to Gilsarian Holdings. He coordinated with the banks and the repo companies. They were coming for everything. The tow trucks were already at your mansion. The lawyers were at the gate. Lang was in a black SUV 2 blocks away, listening to the radio, waiting for the moment they dragged you out in handcuffs. He thought he finally had you. But you had one last move. You didn't run. You didn't hide. You walked out onto the balcony, turned on Instagram Live in front of 500,000 viewers, and did something no one expected. You exposed everything. You told the world how you built the illusion. You showed them the repo trucks in the background. And then you launched Gilzerian Black, your own tequila brand, live on camera. While Lang and the repo team were outside waiting to arrest you, your audience bought $18 million worth of tequila in 4 hours. You used that money to legally pay off every single debt before the banks could fully freeze the accounts. By the time Agent Lang walked through the gate with the warrant, you had already wired the full $15 million, plus penalties. You were debt-free. Lang stood there in shock as you handed him the signed documents and the keys to the cars. "You're too late," you told him calmly. "The game's already over." He had spent months trying to catch you. You spent 4 hours beating the entire system. The aftermath. You didn't go to jail because you didn't break the law in the final moment. You used a legal product launch and legitimate sales to clear the debt. Agent Lang watched you walk away that morning. As the sun came up, he knew he had lost. You didn't just survive. You turned the moment they tried to destroy you into the biggest business launch of your life. The banks tried to crush a teenager. Instead, they accidentally created a legend. Ending plus call to action. You are 19 years old. You started with $14. You built an empire of smoke and mirrors. You survived multiple near misses with the FBI. And when they finally came for you, you didn't run. You turned the lights on and made them watch you win. If this story gave you chills, drop a like. Comment, "I would have done the same," if you think you could have pulled it off. And subscribe, because next time, we're going even deeper into how far someone will go to beat the system. This was the story of Dan Gilzarian, the man who made the banks pay for his own escape.